Hi Paulina, how's it going? Hope you're doing amazing and I'm super excited that you want to become an aerospace engineer. I'm so happy to answer your questions, so here we go. What inspires you to pursue this field of study and what has inspired you to keep advancing? So when I was a little girl, I always was attracted to airplanes. A little bit of the background, my family, my dad was a pilot and my mom was an industrial engineer. So I had those two figures in my life related to the STEM field, but I always was just fascinated on how airplanes would, fly. And whenever I had the ability and the possibility to go on travel, I would just look outside the window and to the airplanes and see how, the flaps would go, the wings would behave. And it just, to me, was really amazing. And one of my first goals when I was growing up was actually to become a pilot. And that later on evolved into become an aerospace engineer. What allows me to keep advancing today, I think just the project that I'm currently in with the Space Launch Systems rocket, which is part of the Artemis program, is just amazing to be part of history that is going to be changing humanity and also be taking the first woman to the moon. So it's just really, really great to be part of that whole team that is advancing humanity into deep space exploration. Okay, so the second question is, can you tell me about your favorite aspect of your job? So as I mentioned, I'm part of the Artemis program with the Space Launch Systems rocket. I currently work for Boeing as part of the launch operations team for the core stage. So the core stage is the main piece of the rocket. I call it the heart and the brains of the rocket because it has the avionics, the propulsion systems, the thrust vector controlling system, all that are key to steer the rocket to go outside our atmosphere and into deep space. What I like most about my job is that I'm part of that team that's going to be involved with the launch operations during the day of launch. So it's just really excited to be part of that team that's going to be putting together the rocket, testing it, and preparing it to launch. All right, so the third question, what skills and strengths do you think are necessary for this career? So I definitely would recommend having a strong skill set in the STEM classes such as mathematics and physics. Those are going to be key to your upper engineering and aerospace engineering classes such as aerodynamics, structures, stability and controls. And if you have the possibility of taking any computer programming class with C++ or MATLAB or even Simulink, those are going to be great resources later on when you do go into your upper engineering classes. As well, if you like to draw, if you like 3D modeling, having a skill set on CATIA programs or the SolidWorks is really great because a lot of the modeling and later on you'll see in your senior design classes is going to be a skill that is going to be handy. I didn't have that ability. I was growing up in Venezuela and I did my high school there. But if you do have the opportunity, I know you said you're a high school student from Oklahoma City, I think it would be amazing for you to take advantage of those. Okay, and the last one, as a minority in the United States, what extra challenges have you faced to get where you are today and in your field? So my background, I'm an immigrant. I came to the US to study college after I finished high school in Venezuela. One of the first things I faced was adapting to a new culture, a language, and just the way of living here in the United States was a big cultural shock for me. Even though I knew the language before coming to the United States, it's just adapting to the new culture and then just not feeling inferior or behind because maybe I didn't have the same opportunities of classes. It's just taking that as a power and then seek for help either through tutoring or other classmates that may know better the actual class notes or the context, and then use that study groups, and that really helped me empower through my studying and career when I was a student. And later on into the field, I am one of the few women in my group, especially Latina. But I'm not gonna let that, define me. I bring to the table a different perspective, being from a multicultural background as a Latina, Salvadorian and Venezuelan, but also, being an immigrant just brings a whole different perspective. So I think taking those different things that make you different from the rest of the world is just an advantage to you later on. And even if you have faced multiple times roadblocks along the way, take those. No path is easy. You're gonna have roadblocks along the way, that's life. But take that, pick yourself up again and continue thriving to the dream that you have of becoming an aerospace engineer. So Paulina, I wish you the best. Good luck. And remember, the sky's not the limit, it's just the beginning.